So I thought this week I'd raise a topic with you that has been raised in the last, I don't know, just before the All-Star weekend a little bit with all these trades. Obviously, they've gone down, and the question that's been posed right now is, in Dallas, who is the man? Who should be taking that last second shot or that final shot in the game? And there's been a few takes on this already, obviously by commentators out there on ESPN, TNT, NBA.com, stuff like that. I don't know. Look, I'll give it to you first. What do you think? What do you think?
It's Luka.
Luka.
It's Luka.
That's it. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
So it's not just about the final shot, it's more about what he's going to create. So Kyrie had played a little bit of an off-ball role in Brooklyn, and you could even make a case to say in Cleveland, and that's where he's going to be a killer. So basically, you want to allow Luka to have to go one-on-one with someone. You can't double Luka because getting it to Kyrie causes you to get in a bit of trouble. So it allows Luka to cook, but if something happens where Luka can find Kyrie, then that's how the last second shot would work. So I guess in my mind for the offense, he's got the ball. And the only time that he's passing it to Kyrie is so that Kyrie is taking the last shot, but that is enacted in the last 3 seconds, so to speak.
It's funny you responded that way. I actually thought you'd respond differently. Okay, because my take is that whoever should take the shot is to play with the hot hand. I think that's how basketball goes. I think in any given game and at any given time, there's five players on the floor, and any smart coach obviously is going to ride the players that are having good games. Okay, you're not necessarily always simply following your rotational minutes. You have a player coming off the bench, they're shooting well, shooting the three ball well. You give them a few extra minutes. Simple as that. Okay, and at the end of the game, you want your shooters on. You're trialing obviously by 1 or 2 points, 3 points. It's a bucket in it sort of game. All right, you want your best players out on the floor, especially the best players playing in that game. So in the situation with Kyrie and obviously Luka, I don't think it's actually a set sort of situation. I think the player that's obviously playing better in that game should probably end up with the ball, and they make the right play. And like you alluded to that, obviously Lucas probably has that sort of vision that we all sort of see every game that he's going to find open players and things like that. But I think it's going to be a decision that comes down to each and every game. And hell, if they're not necessarily the player that's hot in that game, they may not necessarily have the play drawn up for them. You say that with Golden State all the time. Steph Curry often is a decoy, and the ball ends up actually in another player's hands where they're trying to get that last shot.
I mean, ultimately, both incredible players with the ball in their hand and can do something. But I think the difference from a coaching standpoint, if you see Kyrie coming up the court with the ball in the last 10 seconds, you're pretty confident that he is going to take that shot from a defensive mindset. So you probably could force the double on him and be confident that he'll still try to put up a shot. Luka, when you force the double within the last 10 seconds, he's more likely to make the pass out, right? I'm not saying that Kyrie is not capable of making the right basketball play. What I'm saying is that Luka's potency is both in his shot making ability and the passing, whereas I think Kyrie's is just on the shot making. So that's where I think the 1A, 1B hierarchy is actually established.
I think it's funny you sort of just made that comment. If you've seen the last few games the Mavs have played just before the break, it's almost the opposite. Luca was the one that forced a shot at the end when he wasn't necessarily in the best position, and Kyrie seemed to really give up the ball too willingly almost. Even though he was probably having a better game than Luca, or a really good game, as well as Luca. I think you also got to consider that Kyrie and many of his teams, or the sort of the thought process here for Kyrie is that who else has the respect to give the ball up in a clutch situation? And let's be clear, in Cleveland, that probably wasn't LeBron. Okay. And obviously through his other few stops here, including into Brooklyn, where KD was the man, and Kyrie was willing to sort of see that sort of to sort of possession to KD in many situations.
I think trying to figure out Kyrie's motives though is always quite a challenge, right? So, we're unsure what his off-season contract situation will be if he's trying to make good with Dallas and get that lined up, or if he's trying to go elsewhere. I think it's too short of a game sample right now to really have a definitive answer. And they're clearly able to put up offensive stats together, which is great for Dallas because you'd worry that one would, take shot attempts or points away from the other. But we probably need to see a couple more close games to really have a good feel for it. That hot potato from the Minnesota game is like great content for all of the media, but probably just an anomaly of actually trying to figure out what it is. Because we also forget that excluding Kristaps Porzingis, which definitely is not on the same caliber as Kyrie, like this is the first time that Luke has played with someone who has that level of talent or has that stature in the league that will force him to, I guess, make those considerations. Normally, what it is Luke is going to take a ridiculous shot or he's going to make a pass to a role player and, that's up to them. So it's a first time for everything. So I think we need more than 2 games before, but I feel confident Luke is the man.
Yo, this is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Fowles, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.